I'm meeting someone later. Lo and behold, I'm going to talk about everyone's favorite token. I'm going to talk about everyone's favorite token. What the hell? No, not everyone's favorite token. At the moment, everyone's worst nightmare, right? Look at that shit. So, what have we got in front of us? It's like Nightmare on Elm Street, isn't it? It's like Saw. What do you do? What do you do if you've been accumulating TRVL? Not financial advice. Well, first and foremost, my name is Amir. I do a weekly stream on and talk about TRVL and Dtravel. That's why I wear my Dtravel hat. I'm not employed by Dtravel, and I have a YouTube channel. And on my YouTube channel, I've been talking about Dtravel for the last 2 years. You can find my playlist on my YouTube channel here. There it is, Dtravel. You go there and you can have a look at my playlists. They got like, I've got over 200 videos. My last video was last Friday, and it's a very important video if you haven't watched the video and you're interested about Dtravel, because that video I talk about why I'm still bullish on Dtravel, my personal journey, the history of Dtravel, and what's next. So I go into depth. It's a long video. It's a 57-minute video. I've had some good feedback on that video, and I like good feedback. It kind of gives me good vibes. Forget about the charts. I like good feedback because it just, at least I made someone's day. So this is Andrea. She says, this is one of my favorite video of yours. And what can I say? Thank you. Yes, mucho amor. Much love. And I hope that I can make better videos on a weekly basis. If I can't do anything, at least I can make good videos or better videos. Someone else sent me a message. I'm going to post it here. They sent it to me on Telegram. Sometimes I get a lot of abuse. I got abuse too, so I'm going to share the abuse. I'll share both. And he goes, good evening, Mr. Amir. Thank you. I just finished your video on your personal journey with Dtravel, and it struck me as one of your most compelling narratives yet. It carries the clarity of someone who has lived the turbulence and the promise from the inside. It's true. Now we wait, not passively, but with the practiced patience of those who understand that the future rewards the ones who stay alert to its quiet shifts. What can I say? Much appreciation, much love, Andy and Planet. And I got abuse as well, so let me just kind of, let's not forget the abusers. Crypto Steve, dead coin. So what can I say? He's right, isn't he? He's right. Yeah, it is a dead coin. This is what we've been saying for a long time. And so, like I said, if you don't know me, I do a weekly, call it a YouTube video or podcast, call it what you want. I talk about Dtravel. I bring some insight into the background and the history, into the fundamentals. Why do I do that? Because I am a Dtravel superhost. I have, Dtravel superhost, a Dtravel host. I have my apartments in London. They're listed on Dtravel. I've turned over. I wonder if I can log on. I don't think I can because I'm logged out at the moment. Or maybe I can. Maybe the cookie is still there. Yep, I've completed 36 direct bookings, and I've turned over $66.7 thousand worth of rental value through those bookings over the past 3 years. So that's why I'm quite bullish on the business, because I know that there is a demand, there is need for what Dtravel provides, which is effectively, it's an Airbnb without Airbnb. So you can search for properties, can't you? Just like you can on Airbnb in different parts of the world. and you can put in the dates, whatever, and you can click on the property links, and that will take you to their direct site, which is hosted on Dtravel for free, and mostly for free. And here you can check the availability, and you can book it. You can reserve it. See that? Reserve. It tells you the price. Click on reserve. Pay by crypto or pay by fiat, Google Pay, etc. And that's it. And so basically you're avoiding, or they're avoiding, the Airbnb fees. The Airbnb fees are quite large. It's about 16.5% in total. It's not a small amount. And so I was quite positive about Dtravel when I got involved. I showed that it worked, so people were coming back to me and wanted direct bookings, and this gave me the ability to do that, send reservation links, receive guests directly, and it was fully insured. So I had peace of mind that if anything happened, I would be protected, and also I'm not going to be deactivated by Airbnb in the future, so that I don't have to worry about that threat. That being said, well, look at this. Look at the token, and I think because I'm kind of looking at crypto and I'm analyzing crypto a little bit, I'm interested in crypto because for a lot of people, crypto is the opportunity of a lifetime to become financially free, isn't it? It's the promise of rich rewards in shorter period of time, because everyone knows that in crypto you can go from nothing to becoming a multimillionaire quickly. Yeah, that's why a lot of people are interested in crypto. And there's the problem in the last 4 years are multiple. And it's not just a problem with Dtravel. I think it's a problem with the whole crypto market. It isn't just Dtravel that's struggled. Yeah, I've just been talking about Quantex. Yeah, Quantex is a layer 1 in development with so much value in funding, so much value, and I've been bullish on this token as well. Yeah, and it's struggling. Yeah, maybe not as bad as TRVL, but it's struggling. You can see it's struggling. Yeah, it's in a correction. But it isn't like going up and up and up. It isn't. It's, look at it. They're also getting a sell-off. Yeah. When you look at other tokens, I've looked at other tokens in the past. Not so many recently. I looked at Portal to Bitcoin, for example. Look at it. From the launch, I don't know where, it's down like 94%. So, you know, these big projects with a lot of, on multiple exchanges, they're not exactly doing, I mean, you can argue that Solana's done really well. Yes, it has. It's done really well. But a lot of tokens are struggling, yeah? Sui, let's have a look at Sui. They've gone up a lot, but they are struggling, yeah? So it's not just a Dtravel thing or a TRVL thing. A lot of tokens are struggling. And what does that mean? Do you give up? Yeah, you could. Arguably, yes. Arguably, that's what you do. You give up and you focus on the strong ones. Or what you have to do is you have to look at the why. You have to understand the why. Why the struggle? Why is TRVL struggling? And that's why I make videos, because I'm trying to explain to people why. So if you haven't looked at my last week's video, please go and have a look. It's really important. Why I'm still bullish on Dtravel. My journey, the history, and what's next. Go and watch it. It'll give you some real insight into the history of Dtravel. Am I still bullish? Yeah, I'm really bullish. I'm really, really, really bullish. And nothing's changed from last week to this week, except we've had more selling. And I've explained this to you guys before. The reason we're getting this selling is the Bybit ST tag. And now what's actually happened is that Bybit have announced the delisting. So on the general channel and the Telegram, Eric, on Monday, he came and he said, great Monday morning, afternoon, Dtravel community. I want to share a quick update regarding our strategy as we head into the next phase of Dtravel. Over the past month, we decided to pause market making incentives for venues. So basically he's saying that Bybit were pulling us effectively. But the reality was that Bybit wasn't bringing value anyway. It wasn't bringing in traffic. It was taking away. That's what he's saying. And it's true. We were actually losing out with being on Bybit in many ways, because it all stems to the historic problems that Dtravel has faced. And when you have a token with so many problems, with so many failures in the past, being on a platform like Bybit, in many ways, it makes it easier for people to extract their value. And so the strategy is changing. This is what he's saying. Our goal is to ensure TRVL is accessible in the specific regions where Dtravel bookings and real-world adoption are growing fastest. We want liquidity focused on actual user growth, not just speculation. And so he's basically saying the people who bought TRVL and Bybit were speculators mostly, and they weren't really interested in Dtravel. And look what he says. We remain fully committed to the partners who are aligned with building the future of travel, and this focus allows us to pursue higher value regional exchange partners. So actually he's giving you clues here, and I can confirm that. So Dtravel are looking at other exchanges right now, okay, and making partnerships with maybe smaller exchanges, but where there's more beneficial activity to a project like Dtravel, where you've also got organic growth on the Dtravel real world network. And so there's more news to come regarding that. So I'm just giving you a little bit of insight of what's happening behind the scenes. We value our community expertise. If you have a relationship with a strong regional exchange or platform that fits the vision, please let us know. More details of these changes along with a new roadmap will be available soon. Have a wonderful week ahead. So that's what's going on with the token. Bybit is finally delisting us. What does that mean for the token? Well, remember what I said to everyone? I said, and I've talked about this so many times, like so many times, and I said that when you look at fib time, the third week of December, this is an area of time. It's not an exact time, but we're coming into a major fib time. See that? That's the 2.618. Every time we come into a major fib time, we put in a pivot, some kind of pivot. Sometimes it takes a few weeks to create a pivot, and sometimes it's just 1 week. But effectively, when we come into a major fib time, we put in a pivot. It just so happens that with this Bybit ST tag and then Bybit delisting, what I was hoping for maybe is that we wouldn't go down so low, we wouldn't lose this value area, and that's just put extreme amounts of pressure on the token price. And we've just seen this, unfortunately, we've seen this sell-off. Okay, but hope is not lost in terms of the technicals of the charts, because I think we'll be seeing a pivot here. The question will be the buyback. Do we get a buyback? Do people now aggressively buy this dip? Is this the dip of the lifetime? Is this the opportunity of a lifetime to buy TRVL at 0.0015? So basically 15% of a cent. Is that right? We've seen quite a large volume as well to the downside, unfortunately. So there's a lot of selling, but naturally with selling there has to be buying, okay? And it's the most volume we've actually experienced ever. Look at it, look at that volume. So it's quite a big sell-off. You can't ignore it. I find often with these kind of massive volume sell-offs, with the next pump, you do get some kind of retracement. But we don't know. I mean, sometimes in this situation, you could just get a simple back to the golden pocket, back to test these lows. on the current price, it would still be quite a lot. It'd be like a 250% increase. And then you just continue the structure. You put in a lower high and you still go down, okay? Because what happens is that people who are trapped or who are sitting on a large amount of TRVL who weren't able to sell, they see this as an opportunity to exit. And it also means that anyone who's like still buying will take profit. And it's the same old story, isn't it? That's technically what happens in the markets when you get bounces, and we don't even know if we're going to get a bounce. Technically, no one can predict the future, but I do think we're going to put in a pivot here. I've always thought that, and I still believe that. I still believe this is kind of a pivot. So there is an opportunity. Now, you come to my channel and you're just wondering, okay, now what's going on with Dtravel? Because that's why people come and watch me. They want to know what's going on with Dtravel, the future. They want to know about the future. And I've talked about this a lot in my streams. I've been as honest as possible. I've been as transparent as possible. And I'm still on this. Nothing's changed. We're looking to change Dtravel. There's going to be huge changes. There's going to be tokenomics changes. There's going to be, everything's changing, right? And what we're doing now is we're looking, or Dtravel is looking at the past and going, okay, what's not worked and what has worked? And then they're getting rid of everything that's not worked and they're holding on to what's working. And right now, the one thing that I can tell you is working is this, the business. The business is working. Look at this. This isn't fake. This is real. Yeah, when someone asks me to book my properties in London, I send them a direct booking list link. Yeah, sometimes they convert. Look, I've sent one yesterday. Sometimes they convert and sometimes they don't. But I do that because I can give them cheaper prices, and they prefer to do it with me directly rather than going through Airbnb. So it does work. The business does work. We're almost close to 11,000 booked nights. And if you go into the Telegram and you have a look, you can see a thriving business. New booking site activated. New booking site activated. New booking process. See that? New booking processed. New booking processed. New booking processed. So you can see that the business is working. Now, if you also go to Dune Analytics, you can see the growth of the network. You can see the size of the network. You can see everything. Yeah, so everything is transparent. So how can we save TRVL? And this is what's on everyone's mind. Is TRVL dead? How can we save TRVL? What should I do? Should I just sell and get out? Is Dtravel going to go bankrupt? Someone sent me a message today. He said, it seems to me that TRVL is now completely booked. Unlikely to recover at this point. Is there any hope left from your point of view? It's 99.9% down. Recovery to a new all-time high is extremely unlikely based on historical examples. So I honestly, I don't want to mislead anyone. Yeah. I don't want to tell people that this is a healthy chart. Okay. I thought there were signs in the past where we could recover, we could do certain things. None of it was financial advice. But what we're experiencing is what I talked about last week, is a continuation of the failures of the previous leadership and the previous vision. The vision that I've basically been holding to account for the last 2 years behind the scenes, and more openly since last February. Okay. And if you want to kind of like, I don't think we should blame anyone. I think these are lessons, and they're only valuable if we can learn from them, and if we can do what's right, and if we can look within ourselves and admit where we made mistakes, and then not do better, but do our best. Okay. And I think what we have right now with the new team is exactly that. With the new leadership, is people who have realized, or coming to realize, that it went wrong. And the reason why they're engaging with me, the reason why they're engaging with different people, not just Mia, lots of different people, is because it's like, hands up, yeah, we got it, they got it wrong. And the people who've stayed have the guts to face the firing line. And that's what I love about Eric. He hasn't run away, tried to, he's trying to save this. The previous CEO had opportunities to save this. I promise you. So many times did I try to talk to her privately. So many times. Towards the end, she was just ignoring everything I was saying. She was ignoring my message. She wouldn't even read them. Okay. And ultimately what happened is that she left, and she wants nothing to do with it. And the other founder, the two co-founders, left. Can you believe that? Because not only were they not willing to admit that they were wrong, they weren't willing to face the people that they misled. Okay? They weren't willing to face them. They weren't willing to accept that they were wrong. Because if they were willing to accept that they were wrong, they would also be willing to change the direction. We could have changed the direction of Dtravel back in February, when I was making points about the problems that Dtravel was experiencing, that TRVL and Dune. We could have done that. They could have done it. We could have had a town hall, a town forum, a marketplace, whatever. We could have sat down. We could have had a conversation, an honest conversation, and they could have started making changes. But instead, what they did is they left. They jumped ship. And what you have now are people who really believe, who honestly and genuinely believe in turning this around, who really believe that we can do this. Eric, James, Ty, Quinn, they're true believers. They believe we can turn this around. It isn't just about a business it isn't just about making this business succeed, because the reality is for this business to succeed, because if you look at the Dune analytics, and this is the truth, we have 10,000 operator sign-ups, 6,165 listings. We need exponential growth. And at the moment, if you can carry this line forward another 4 years, I mean, look, from last year till now, we've gone up 2,000. So it's a 50% increase in 1 year. So based on that, let's say we're increasing 50% every year. So we're in 6,000 now, roughly. So next year, we'll be on 9,000. And let's say we just continue that pattern. In 4 years' time, we'll be at 30,000 listings. So we'll basically go from 6,000 to 30. And then you have a business that works, but it doesn't mean the token is going to go up the way people want it to go up, or the way people hoped that it would go up. Maybe that means that in the next 4 years, with this current business plan, we can actually bottom out here. And then that's assuming that the runway is, we don't run out of the runway. Yeah, because the runway is really important. And so when the TRVL price is low, it reduces the runway, because it means that Dtravel hasn't got that buffer of being able to sell some TRVL to expand the runway. Yeah, and so naturally Dtravel isn't going to be selling TRVL at these prices. And not only is there no liquidity at these prices, but also it's just ridiculously low price for the token. But they have stayed. They haven't left. They haven't jumped ship. They haven't abandoned us. They're still there. And if you go onto Telegram, you have a look. You can go and have a chat with them. You can chat with. Oops. Let me just go to Telegram now. If you go to the Dtravel community, you can have a chat. You can message them if you want. Just make sure that you let them know. Eric is there, and Andrea is there. She's chatting, and they're active. Look, Andrea Mong. She's talking about the 2026 roadmap. They're engaging. They haven't left. They're not running away. They're not ignoring the community. That's not happened. And I'm still here, firmly reiterating what's being said and what's being done. Okay. Anyway, I don't want to make this video too long because sometimes I can go on for a bit too long. What's coming? So this is what I want to kind of really get to. A lot of people come to my stream and what's coming? Are you still bullish? Yeah, I am. I'm so bullish now, you don't even understand. Yeah. And I bought some today. Yeah, I bought some more TRVL today. It's so cheap. It's so easy. You can just buy like 500,000-600,000. It's not much. It's so cheap. Why would you not buy some? Yeah. You only don't buy some if you think the token's going to zero. And I don't actually believe the token's going to zero. I don't believe that. I believe that we're going to pull it around. This team, Eric, is going to turn it around. And really what I can't really share what's kind of like the details because it's not for me to share all the details, but I'll kind of let you in on a few things. Okay. What we're looking for is what's going to be announced is a new vision for transformation and growth. Okay. We haven't had that announcement yet. And I think that's when you're going to really begin to understand the why of the last 4 years. Because in the last 4 years, Dtravel has done something great. They have built an application that works, a real business that works. It's just not profitable yet, but it's just a business that works. But in terms of crypto, what you're going to be seeing is a new vision for transformation and growth. And they're going to be addressing the token, the disconnect between the token's value and the platform's operational success. This will restore investor confidence, and what they want to do is incentivize long-term hodling. And to do that, Dtravel will create a self-sustaining economy. Okay. There's some other things that are happening, and I think top of the list is converting Dtravel into a decentralized autonomous organization. Okay. And the new initiatives when they get launched. And I think a lot of people are like, what are these new initiatives? How are they going to impact the price of TRV? And we just have to wait and see. But I think the common theme that keeps on getting reiterated in Telegram, if you go to Telegram and listen to the conversations, and if anyone has a conversation with me, one of the easiest and the most effective ways of increasing token value is by burning tokens. And I think that's going to be top of the list of what happens next. The token burns. Okay. So I'm just giving you some kind of insight into the future. And what will solidify everything is integrating real world travel with virtual elements to drive engagement and token value. And so this is the kind of the big question, the big kind of the unknown. Like people are like wondering what can happen with Dtravel. I think what you have to do is look at Dtravel, the application which was built by the previous leadership, as a success and everything else a failure. Then you have to kind of get rid of and forget about what they did because they messed up and they left. They didn't face the music. They jumped ship. The people who stayed behind are true believers, and that's what we want. We want true believers, people who truly believe in decentralized travel. Okay, those are the ones who are going to save us, and we're going to find it in ourselves to do that. And then together we're going to rise up together. And ultimately what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking what works and creating something new and using what works as the foundation of the new thing that we create. Okay, so we're effectively looking at creating a completely new business, but much bigger, much more ambitious, and it will address the issues that people have always been raising. What about the token? What about the token? What about the token? If anything, the first people that Dtravel will be rewarding will be the token holders, or the early adopters, the early investors, of people who held. They are priority number one in the vision for the future. And that will be addressed with the new tokenomics. And so I've talked about tokenomics in the past. I think the only way we can go forward, and this is my feedback, is a Bitcoin-based tokenomics. And once that uncertainty has been settled, once no one is uncertain anymore about all the extra tokens that are lying around, once people understand the how and the why, and then once people connect that with everything else that will be announced, a DAO governance and the new initiatives and how the token will be burned in those new initiatives, and then the lastly and the most important part will be the new business. The new business, which will build on Dtravel, the application as a foundation, to create something which is going to basically bring the whole world to Dtravel. The whole world. Effectively, what we need to do is we need to create an economy which includes everyone. And I think the top of the kind of the catchphrase that is on my mind is, and this is like, well, I was just thinking about it a lot. Why do people ever get involved in crypto? Ultimately, it's about becoming rich. It's about financial freedom, isn't it? It isn't just about making cool things or playing games or doing. It's about financial freedom. That's why people get involved in crypto. That's the lure for the people who are involved in crypto. Anyone who comes to crypto, they want to do better than they currently are in their current situation. And we have to answer that question. We have to give people the assurance and the confidence that they will find financial freedom in the new version of Dtravel, the new business of Dtravel. Okay, so right now in the current business, it's quite limited, isn't it? Because you have to have a property, the property has to get booked, you need travelers, and you still don't get financial freedom. It's just an extension of your business that you already are running and operating, just like I am with my Airbnbs in London. Okay, what Dtravel needs to do is take that as a foundation, the application that works, and then reinvent themselves and create something which has the capability of giving everyone who is involved with Dtravel financial freedom. That will attract every single person, because that's what people want. They want to be free from the systems that govern them and control them, and they want to be financially independent and financially free. And the things that Dtravel will do, and I'm not talking about 10 months from now, I'm talking like the announcements are about to be made. We want to encourage accumulation, so basically to motivate users to acquire as much TRVL as possible. That has to be priority number one. Promote long-term holding or hodling, and so we need to incentivize the users to hodl TRVL indefinitely without selling. We need to drive asset liquidation, so we need to inspire people to sell their other assets to accumulate more TRVL. These are the objectives. And we need to enhance the functionality. And the functionality, to do that, we need to transform TRVL into a practical and integral token within the Dtravel economy. It has to be economy. So what we have to do is we have to create a brand new economy, an economy which includes everyone and gives people a reason to participate. That's changing. The whole thing is changing. So we have a new CEO. If you don't know who he is, his name is Eric Pace. I'm going to show you now. He didn't jump ship. He stayed. He stayed. Where's the about page? Here he is, anyway, here. Go to the blog, the new chapter for Dtravel. This is Eric Pace, the new CEO. He didn't jump ship. He stayed. He stayed to face the criticism. He stayed to face the bad sentiment. He stayed to face the problems, and he was left with so much mess by the previous leadership. So much mess, so many problems, and he's fighting. He's like working on this. I spoke to him yesterday. 100%. He's up at like 4 a.m. He's working all the way through to 12 p.m. at night. Yeah. To turn this around. This is no joke. You're not dealing with people who don't care. You're dealing with someone who really cares, who really is going to turn this around. And it's hard because if everything was going great, going well, we wouldn't need a new CEO, would we? Sometimes things have to collapse for the right people to come in. The true believers, the people who really have the strength, the courage, and the capability, the skills to turn it around. And that, I think that's what's happened in Dtravel. We've basically, what's happened is that all the people, all the shit has gone. All the crap, all the chaff has been burnt away in this whole period of time. All the weak hands have left. All the people who really didn't care about Dtravel have gone. And now is our moment to rebuild from the ground up. But we don't have to throw everything away. We have a business, an application that works. And so that will be the foundation of the future. So what we have to do now, and this is what I'm doing, is supporting and getting behind the new leadership, the new CEO, and trusting in him. Because at the end of the day, what can I do? Am I going to sell? No, of course not. I don't care. I'm not going to sell. Whatever happens, I'd rather it go to zero than sell. Yeah, because look at where we are. If I wanted to sell, I should have sold at 9 cents. If I really wanted to, I should have sold at 9 cents. Okay. If I wasn't going to sell at 9 cents, why would I sell at 0.0015? It makes no sense. That's ridiculous. Why would you sell at 0.0015 if you're not looking to sell at 5 cents? Yeah. If anything, we're in a better situation now than we were at 9 cents. In 9 cents, you had a broken tokenomics, terrible leadership, and people who are completely delusional and disconnected from crypto. Yeah, you didn't sell. And here you have new leadership, people who are true believers, working their guts off, who've promised to turn this around and pour everything into it with a new vision, a new game plan, taking what works on the old and getting rid of everything else. And you want to sell? See the difference? And so is there any hope for this token? Maybe the charts in this chart, no. But maybe if we can change the chart, yes. And that's the only thing I'm going to be saying here. Maybe if we can change the chart, yes. Yeah. And that's not for me to announce. Okay. But there's a lot of things that are happening. And I think this is a real opportunity. And so one thing that I want to promise you is that early adopters, early investors won't be let down. Because if they're let down, I'm let down. That makes no sense either. Why would they let down the people who have stood by them all the way down to the 0.01507? All right? It's not going to happen. So this is the fight back, guys. We're about to make a pivot. And I tried to buy some today and the price moved like 10%. Small amount. Price moved like 10% when I bought some. And so I just want to let you know that if you want to buy and not worry about the slippage, this is the right place. Because the price can slip. If you buy now at 0.01502, if you try to buy like a few 100,000 TR, which isn't much, it's like a few $100s, you could end up buying all the way up to 0.016, 0017, 0018 because of the slippage, because we're at a very illiquid area of the price. Yeah, very illiquid. It's super illiquid here. So if you do want to buy, this is actually a good place to start picking up large amounts. Okay, and it's better to do it before things start to get announced and start to move again. Okay, and I think that's going to start happening next week. either this weekend or next week, you can start getting some big announcements, and then you'll be able to contribute and you'll be able to understand what's happening, and then then you can decide what you want to do. Yeah, do you want to buy more and or do you want to just hodl, or do you want to wait? You know, then you have to make those decisions for yourself. None of this is financial advice. I'm just kind of letting you know. All right. Any other questions? Just comment on this video. GeoTips is saying Dtravel fundamentally good. Yes, fundamentally good. Business is doing good. Yeah, the business isn't profitable yet, but it's growing. There's growth, and the business model has changed. The old business model has changed. So as you can see right now, if you look at my profile, I've subscribed to the Pro plan, and that basically means that I'm paying a monthly fee for this listing. You don't have to. You can not pay, and you get some perks when you do that. And obviously I support Dtravel, so obviously I do that. I think there's a limit of the number of listings you can do that with. I'm not going to go into this right now, but so the business is growing, and as you can see on Telegram, if you go into the Telegram, you can see that we have new booking sites activated. We have people joining, new operator signups, and you can see the activity if you go up and have a look. New booking process, new booking site activated. So as people join, they don't have to pay anything, but if they want to, they can, and they'll start getting access to different perks and discounts, etc. So the business is not profitable yet, but we're starting to increase the revenue of the business. And what else? Yeah, new CEO. So this is the thing, that's the big deal. We have a new CEO. He didn't jump ship. If you go to my video last week, I talk about Eric and what he did, and he's gonna turn this around. I have 100% confidence in his passion, his desire, his capability, and his vision. 100% confident. And so I look at the chart and I'm saying, yeah, of course it's gone down, because what you're seeing is a failed vision of a previous idea, a previous team, a previous leadership. Honestly, no animosity to the past. Honestly, like, I know why this happened. The previous leadership was terrible. They were rubbish. They took no accountability for their actions. They made the wrong decisions. They didn't listen to the community. And all they wanted to do was rise in an alt season, which never came. That's all they want. That was their only plan. Their only plan was to rise up in an alt season that never came. Yeah, that's how good they were. They were rubbish. Okay, what we're seeing now is the end of their legacy. This is the end. This is the end of their era. Okay, so yeah, so of course it went down to however low it went down to, because that's what they did. The previous CEO, the previous leadership, the two co-founders, they left. They jumped ship. Can you believe it? The two co-founders jumped ship because their vision failed, and they weren't willing to rise up to the challenge. They weren't willing to face or confront all the people like you and me, the investors who had put in so much time and energy and value to make this and belief into this project. And this is their legacy. Okay, now let's wait for the new legacy. The new legacy is just about to begin. It's about to be a rebirth of something. It's not going to be the same. It's not the Dtravel that you imagined is going to change. And we're going to take the foundation of Dtravel, which is the application, the business that works, and we're going to create something completely new. Eric's going to do that. He's going to do that. And he's going to tick all the boxes. All the boxes that you want will be ticked. I 100% believe that. 100% believe that. I know it's going to happen. And all of this happened for a reason. That's why there's no animosity. Like, I'm really glad that it happened in a sense. Because as long as you didn't sell and make a loss. I'm really glad it happened, because I almost think like that old leadership was so bad they had to go. They really were terrible. And I think like, if you, let's just say we didn't have this crash and the old leadership was there, maybe we would have gone up, and maybe it sort of done that. Yeah, but then it would be like, we would be like way behind. Yeah, we needed to go, like, it took so long to get rid of them, for them to leave, to change everything over, etc., etc. Like, there's a process in changing things around, you know. It's, you can't just do it overnight. And then once you do kind of get rid of them and the new people come in and they start taking over, planning for the future, to change the business, to talk to the community, to listen to the community, to have conversation, I mean, that's a process. And so I almost feel like all of this had to happen, because when we do rise from this low, it's going to be really glorious. It's going to be a testament to the new leadership, because they will then have turned it around, and then all of our confidence and faith in them will be justified. Does that make sense? So I almost feel like it was meant to happen this way. But just wait, just be patient. If you want to buy some, just make sure, none of this is financial advice. If you want to buy some, see, we're getting some buying here, is it already? Can you see? That's like market buying. Obviously it's not enough to push through, but we're getting some buying here on the different, look at that, on gate. See that? How much volume was that? 1.8 million was bought in that 1 hour period, bought and sold. And see, the price went up and down 25%. That's how illiquid this area of the chart is. And like 1.5 million TRVL at these prices. How much is that? I'll tell you. On average, it's like $2,000 thereabouts, $2,500. So $2,500 worth of buying and selling has moved the price at these prices 26%. So we're at an extremely illiquid part of the chart, and this is actually a good, this is how you can accumulate large amounts. If people are looking now to accumulate large amounts of TRVL, this is the right place, the right time. We're on fib time. We're kind of at the right place. There's another chart I wanted to show you just quickly, and it's food for thought. Yeah, I don't want to like forget about technical analysis for a while, but this is the MEXC. No, it isn't. That's the gate chart. Let's have a look at the MEXC chart. Let me find it. This one. This is the one I was looking at earlier. It was fib extension from the all-time high to this all-time low there. I've already drawn it out. See that? And so basically what you're looking at, if you look at it in the monthly time frame, is this. I'll show you. How should I draw this? One, two, three. It might not be right. It might be to there. Yeah, that's probably more right. Fortunately. So we still haven't reached the 1-to-1, but on a different pivot we have, on this pivot we're at the 1-to-1. So I'm not sure if this is correct. If to there, to there, to there, you see that? That's the 1-to-1. But it may not be correct, and this thing with technical analysis is a bit tricky. If you do let's just say that's your ABC. This is your ABC, and you have another one there, then actually you're going much lower for a 1-to-1. So it's all speculation really. That will take us down to 0.01. Anyway, I think we're going to turn this around. We're at the right time, we're at the right place. Let's turn this around. All right, any questions, anything else? Someone's trying to call me. All right, I've gone on for too long. Hey, I'm going to be streaming again next Friday, and hopefully we're going to have a massive announcement. Let's see what happens, sir. Let's see what happens. Have a good weekend.